From one of the poorest nations, Botswana's rise from dust to diamonds. In the narrative tapestry of post-colonial Africa, the story of Botswana emerges like a vibrant thread, woven with the hues of possibility and perseverance. Imagine a landlocked gem in the heart of southern Africa. When Botswana gained its independence from Britain in 1966, the situation was grim. It was one of the poorest countries in the world, struggling with extreme underdevelopment and a lack of basic infrastructure. At that time, the entire country, roughly the size of France, had only 12 kilometers of paved roads. The lack of transportation infrastructure made it difficult to connect villages and towns, limiting access to even the most basic goods and services. There were no hospitals to provide health care, no universities for higher education, and only a few primary schools scattered across the nation. The majority of the population was illiterate. Only 22 people had ever attended university, and about 100 more had completed high school. Botswana was essentially a nation without a skilled workforce. The economy was almost non-existent, with most people relying on cattle herding and subsistence farming for survival. There were no industries, no significant trade, and no formal economic structure to support development or growth. Poverty was widespread, and prospects for improvement seemed bleak. Compounding these challenges was Botswana's geographical isolation. Surrounded by more developed neighbors like South Africa and Namibia, being landlocked and having no access to ports made trade and economic integration even more difficult. Politically, Botswana was in a precarious position, surrounded by nations with stronger economies, and in the case of South Africa, an apartheid regime that posed both economic and diplomatic challenges. The new government, under Sir Seretse Khama, inherited a fragile state with limited resources to govern effectively. Compared to its neighbor South Africa, which despite its internal strife had significant infrastructure, industrial sectors, and access to international markets, Botswana's starting point was far more desperate. The difference in development between the two nations was stark, setting the stage for what seemed like an impossible uphill battle. But in the face of these overwhelming odds, Botswana embarked on a remarkable journey. With the right leadership, sound policies, and a commitment to integrity, this impoverished nation would soon defy the odds and transform into one of Africa's greatest success stories. Now, leap into the future, where Botswana has not just survived, but thrived, becoming a beacon of economic success in sub-Saharan Africa. It's the diamond in the rough, literally, as the world's largest producer of gem diamonds, with a GDP per capita of $18,323 that rivals Mexico and Turkey, outshining South Africa, Brazil, and Iran. But the story isn't just about wealth, it's about integrity. Botswana shines with the least corruption in Africa, outranking even South Korea, Italy, and China, according to Transparency International. It's a stable, multi-party democracy that's been a peaceful haven in a continent often marked by turmoil. Enter Sir Seretse Khama, the protagonist of this tale, born into royalty, but whose narrative was anything but typical. His marriage to Ruth Williams, a white British woman, in 1948, was not just a personal union, but one with profound political, diplomatic, and social repercussions. South Africa, with its apartheid laws, saw this union as a direct affront, leading to his exile. Politically, the marriage garnered opposition from both his uncle and the British government, sparking debates about his suitability to lead and resulting in his temporary banishment from Bechuanaland. Diplomatically, it strained relations between Britain and apartheid South Africa, which opposed the marriage due to its racial policies, fearing it would undermine their segregationist stance. Publicly, their relationship highlighted issues of race and equality, gradually shifting perceptions in both Britain and Bechuanaland. But this was no ordinary man. Upon his return, Seretse transformed from a deposed prince into a political phoenix, leading his nation to independence and into an era of unprecedented growth. Despite initial resistance, his leadership and the couple's enduring marriage contributed positively to Botswana's journey to independence in 1966, leaving a legacy of racial harmony and demonstrating that love can transcend racial barriers, even in the face of considerable political and social upheaval. Khama's approach was unconventional for the time, shunning the socialist winds blowing across Africa. Instead, he chose a path of economic pragmatism, inviting foreign investment and nurturing a business-friendly environment. His leadership was marked by strategic partnerships, notably with De Beers, which transformed Botswana's mineral wealth into national prosperity through the joint venture Botswana. This partnership ensured that a substantial portion of diamond profits was directed to the government, enabling significant public investment. Under Khama's leadership, Botswana adopted several strategic economic initiatives and policies that laid the foundation for its success. The focus on diamonds and mineral management was pivotal, with the government benefiting directly from mining profits, which were reinvested into infrastructure, health, and education. Beyond minerals, Botswana pursued economic diversification through the Botswana Excellence Strategy, aiming to reduce dependency on diamonds by promoting sectors like tourism, financial services, and manufacturing. The beef sector development also exemplified efforts to diversify income sources. Fiscal prudence was another cornerstone of Botswana's policies. The country maintained stable macroeconomic policies, low public debt, budget surpluses, and substantial foreign exchange reserves, effectively managing its mineral wealth. The National Investment Strategy, NIS, fostered economic activity and foreign investment, particularly through initiatives like establishing a diamond hub for value-added businesses. Infrastructure development was a key focus, with diamond profits reinvested into roads, hospitals, schools, and universities, significantly improving the Human Development Index and supporting economic growth. Human capital development was also prioritized, with substantial investments in education and health, ensuring a healthier, more educated workforce. Botswana's regulatory and policy frameworks promoted economic freedom, with policies that encouraged free trade, limited government intervention, and equality before the law, attracting foreign investment and supporting private sector growth. As a member of the Southern African Development Community, SADC, Botswana also benefited from regional economic integration and trade agreements. To support SMEs and entrepreneurship, the Citizen Entrepreneurial Development Agency provided low-interest loans and mentoring for small business owners, fostering entrepreneurship and job creation. These combined efforts, supported by stable governance, helped Botswana transition from one of the poorest countries at independence to an upper-middle-income country with one of the highest per capita incomes in Africa. Nevertheless, challenges like high unemployment, income inequality, and the need for further economic diversification remain. In terms of education, Botswana has made significant strides. The government offers free primary education, and secondary education is heavily subsidized, ensuring broad access. Tertiary education has seen expansion, with institutions like the University of Botswana becoming centers of excellence. Scholarships and loans are available for higher education, and there's a strong push towards vocational training to meet the demands of a diversifying economy. This focus on education has contributed to a literacy rate now over 85%, a stark contrast to the post-independence era. However, recent political wins have brought change. In a historic shift, the Botswana Democratic Party, BDP, which has governed since independence, lost its parliamentary majority in the 2024 elections. This transition marks the first time in 58 years that another party, the Umbrella for Democratic Change, UDC, has taken power. The peaceful handover by President Mokgweetsi Masisi signals a robust democratic tradition. This political shift was driven by economic stagnation, particularly due to a decline in diamond revenues, with unemployment reaching over 27%, especially affecting the youth. Botswana is now focusing on economic diversification. Efforts include agriculture, promoting local farming to reduce dependence on imports, with initiatives like the import ban on certain agricultural products. Tourism, leveraging its unique natural landscapes, like the Okavango Delta, aiming to boost this sector significantly. Renewable energy, investing in solar projects to move away from traditional energy sources. Manufacturing, encouraging local manufacturing through incentives, particularly in sectors like textiles and food processing. These efforts are part of a broader strategy to build a more resilient economy, less reliant on diamond exports, which have been hit by global market changes and competition from synthetic diamonds. Culturally, Botswana remains a tapestry of diverse ethnic groups, with a rich tradition of storytelling and music. The country's commitment to peace and tolerance was once again highlighted by the smooth transition of power, showcasing a society that values stability and democratic processes. And there you have it, the remarkable transformation of Botswana, from being the second poorest country in the world to one of the most prosperous nations in Africa. A story of visionary leadership, wise resource management, and steadfast commitment to democracy and equality. If this journey from adversity to prosperity has captivated you, show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing for more tales of triumph. Until next time, keep exploring the world's untold stories.